Welcome to Beauty Business Matters. I'm Susan Routledge, your host, and this is a really, really special, I know I say it all the time, but this is a really, really special edition because the guest has never done a podcast before. So I have got Dean Nathanson with me from CACI International, which is a huge company. And I can't believe, Dean, that you've never done a podcast before.
I've done lots of talks and seminars, but I've never done a podcast.
So absolutely loving that. So anyone who doesn't know what CACI International is, CACI has been around since 1992. We've just been talking about that.
Thank you.
It is, it was our third piece of electrical equipment we got in my clinic. But I'm going to get Dean to tell us more about what it actually is. It's probably one of the most popular pieces of equipment that has been in our industry ever. So over to you, Dean. Thank you for being a guest.
Pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
I've practically twisted your arm to get you here because I've asked you a few times.
Times.
I know how busy you are. So I think obviously everyone sees you at the shows and such a great personality and everyone loves talking to you. But I don't think anyone really knows a lot about especially what was Dean doing before CACI International. I think that's a good place to start.
So my sordid past. So before CACI, CACI has been going since 1992. In fact, next week is 34 years in business.
Wow.
Congratulations. Before CACI, I was a solicitor. Junior solicitor with a very large West End law firm called Fladgate Fielder. It was a huge firm. It had 46 partners. It was a merger of 3 companies. And back in the day when I did law, you did a law degree, you did Law Society finals, you did 2 years articles. So I had done all these years of study to become a qualified lawyer working at Fladgate. And truth be told, I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. It was sort of always from a young age, you're good at talking. You become a solicitor or a barrister or whatever. So I found myself working in legal practice for quite a prestigious law firm, but not really enjoying what I was doing.
Wow. Yeah. So obviously a huge shift.
Change. Yeah.
How did CACI come about?
So 1992, I started dating someone that actually was my co-partner director when we set up CACI. Her name is Eileen Mulligan.
Yeah.
And when I met Eileen was a qualified nurse and a therapist, and she was working at a clinic in Harley Street, and they had brought over the first CACI machine from the US.
Yeah.
And long story short, the clinic where Eileen was working decided they were closing up shop. Rumour has it they were running from the tax man, but and Eileen sort of said to me I don't know what I'm going to do, and she'd told me about this machine that they'd been using, developed by Dr. Thomas Wing in the US for treating facial palsy, and they would be using it in the clinic for tightening and toning the facial muscles as a beauty treatment. And being the cynical lawyer that I was then, I was very sort of incredulous. Well, really? It gives a non-surgical facelift. But when I started to look into it, I found out that Dr. Thomas Wing hadn't really developed the machine for beauty treatments. It was for muscle re-education. And some of his other microcurrent systems were being used for muscle rehabilitation of some of the top athletes in the world. And believe it or not, 30 odd years ago, I was quite a keen sportsman. I'd played sort of rugby for county and done athletics and stuff. So my hero at the time was an athlete called Carl Lewis, and I had a picture of him being treated using Dr. Wing's equipment. So I got quite excited. Okay, there really is something in this technology that he'd developed. And when I looked further into Dr. Wing, he was like this genius inventor. He'd developed the first radio pager. So he's a genius inventor, as well as a medical doctor, as well as a chiropractor. And so I said to Eileen, why don't you see if you can get the distribution rights for this CACI system. And she said, oh, do you think they'd be interested? I said, look, I tell you what, I'm not happy what I'm doing. Why don't we set up something together and do that? And that's literally how it started. I mean, I was 25? I was a kid, really.
I can always just remember seeing a picture of Eileen, and the thing is, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I always thought, wow, she's such a great advert.
Yeah. Sort of perfect porcelain skin. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's possibly one of the things where I thought, I've got to have that piece of equipment.
Yeah. So we spoke to the US. They already knew Eileen because she'd been out there, done the training. Mm-hmm. And they said, I think we had to buy, 3-4 machines. And I wanted to buy one of the medical units for sports injury, because that's the route I wanted to take the company at the time. And they granted us distribution rights for the UK, for the UK. And initially we tried, I had a few contacts on the sports side. I had a cousin that was the head physio at Leighton Orient Football Club.
Yeah.
A chap called Bill Songhurst. And I went to see Bill and said, hey, we've got this amazing piece of tech. It's used by all the top athletes, Carl Lewis and Jackie Joyner-Kersee and the San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bulls and all this fantastic endorsements. And he was like, and don't forget, we're going back 34 years. He said, I don't really use technology, to ultrasound. And he said, look, what I can do, I can introduce you to all the London football clubs. And we literally went to Arsenal and Tottenham and Chelsea.
Wow.
and they all said the same. They all said, we'll have a look at it, but and we give you feedback, but we're not buying it. And so we had articles in the FA magazine, but in truth, I don't know if we were ahead of our time. It just didn't take off on the sports injury side. So we decided, let's go the beauty route. And in my wisdom back then, I said, we need to get people knowing about it. Let's book an exhibition. But it wasn't a trade exhibition. I said, let's do a consumer show. Yeah. So we booked a show, and in truth, we didn't have much money then. Scrapings of some savings and stuff like that. So we booked a show called Slim 92.
Okay.
It was a slimming show. It was supposed to take place at Alexandra Palace.
Yeah.
And about a week before the show, we had a fax. There was faxes then come through.
Yeah.
Slim 92 is cancelled. So Eileen and I look at each other. We thought, oh, that's it. We've blown our money and etc. And then it might have been the same day. Another fax comes through. Great news. Slim 92 is now happening at Wembley.
Right.
So it was a different location in a purpose-built marquee. We thought, oh, that sounds very nice. Turns out it was a Circus big top that they'd borrowed. It stunk to high heaven when we arrived. And because it was Slim 92, there was a lot of fitness guys there. And it was dead, deserted. At one point, there was another exhibition going on sort of next door for hearing aids. They said everybody from the hearing aid show can come in. People were walking around on Zimmer frames at this sort of slimming and fitness show. It was we thought, oh, this is going to be a disaster. But a couple of things happened at that show that, don't forget, this is we've just started in business. So we met a lady called, I hope she doesn't mind me saying, called Rosalind Beasley. She opened, she had a slimming studio called Shapers, in Nottingham.
Yeah. And
she said, I love this machine. It's fantastic. And she said, but I'd actually like to get involved in your business. We've got lots of staff. Her husband was quite a successful businessman. She said, do you have any sales reps? And I said, well, you're looking at it. It's us, really. And she said, I'd like to represent you commission-only basis, sort of from, Midlands upwards.
Yeah.
So we said, great. And so literally overnight, we suddenly had this sales force on the road.
Yeah.
Then the other two sort of people that we met that made a huge difference to us, we met a lady called Caroline Hogg. Mm-hmm. Caroline was the editor of Woman magazine at that time.
Fantastic.
And she said, and don't forget, back then we never had internet. So everything was done via print media. It was magazines and newspapers. Yeah, exactly. So she was the editor of Woman magazine, which had this huge weekly readership. And she decided that she wanted to do a feature, and we set up a test. A lady from Potter's Bar had a course of treatment, and we had a double-page spread in Woman magazine. And then also at Slim 92, we met a lady called Newbie Hands. Now, Newbie at the time, sort of like the doyen of the beauty industry, she was the beauty editor on the Daily Mail. And she was also beauty editor of what is now Harper's Bazaar.
Oh, wow.
Back then it was Harper's and Queen.
Yeah.
It was called. And she loved the treatment. In fact, she wrote an article, said it was the ultimate in beauty sleep, that she fell asleep and woke up looking younger. She also put us forward for the top 10 best ever facial, which we won. And so what we quickly realised, we had these articles come out in Harper's and Woman magazine and the Daily Mail, and we were inundated.
Demand would go through the roof.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
And we were so naive then. Literally, we were taking down people's details on scrappy bits of paper. It wasn't even a proper spreadsheet. It was, or a database or whatever. And but what we would do, we'd have, we've got 50 people from South London, and we'd start contacting salons in South London and say, who we are, CACI, all the background, Dr. Wing, etc. And here are 50 clients wanting to have treatment. Yeah. So back in 92, it was quite a little bit of a recession period. It wasn't a great economic time. We'd launched CACI back then, I think, if I remember rightly, about £6,000, which was an absolute fortune back then.
But that was as well. Yeah. The thing is that, like, I've still got one of the original machines. The so box. It was like a cream box, wasn't it? With batteries inside it. Yeah. And when you said about that lady falling asleep, that was because it used to have that beep.
Monotonous beep. Yeah.
And the thing was, we always used to say it, and this induces sleep. So, and clients did literally used to fall asleep having the treatment. But the thing is as well, I think I sent it to you, that I can always remember the first marketing that you ever did as well, which was just this, like, it wasn't a celebrity or anything. It was just a person who'd had like a before, that was just a before and after. It
looked like a wanted poster.
I did.
It was goddamn awful. I've still got some of the old stuff and look back like, what possessed us? But
I know, but it worked.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
Worked. So yeah, because I've still got the original ad and everything. Because it was the third piece of equipment that we got. We had we'd got cathiodermy. We had a slim tone, and then we got a CACI.
Yeah.
And I was starting, because we were the first in the Northeast to get it.
Yeah.
Which I think we got it possibly within the first 6 months of it coming out. So we probably got one of the phone calls from, because I can't even remember how I got to see it, whether I saw it in a magazine or what, but like I just thought, wow, we just need to get this piece of equipment in. Yeah. And from day one we did fantastically well. Now I think we've got another 3 pieces, 3 CACIs. But yeah, and did it just gradually grow from there then, Dean?
We had, fortunately, very quick overnight success. So I don't know if some of it was our naivety, but we decided that we had to make consumers aware of it. And we created the demand by, and again, I used to contact every national newspaper, but not contacting the beauty editors. I'd phone the features editors. Yeah. And I remember they often would put the phone down on me. Is that you again, Dean? Phone goes down. We were just very, very persistent. And then somebody would come out and try the treatment and write about the treatment. And also I lived in Hampstead at the time, which was quite a nice area of London, and quite a lot of celebrities lived in that area. And a couple of my neighbours were sort of celebrities, and I'd get talking to them and they would come in and have treatment with us. And then I'd say, would you mind giving an interview? So we started contacting some of the newspapers, and they'd do a little feature on the celebrity who would then be talking about their anti-aging or their beauty treatment regime, and mention CACI. So we were gradually building this celebrity profile. But I actually thought what we really need is like a flagship salon that we can invite people along to. So this is like the first year of business, and I thought, I know, let's approach Harrods. So I contact, and at the time, Harrods, the beauty salon in Harrods was run by ESNL. ESNL had chain of salons within department stores. And I met with, it's funny because I talk about this and these are people I'm friends with now, but the lady I met with that was running the ESNL salon there was a lady called Mary Bell.
Yeah.
So Mary, I know well, but I'd gone to see Mary, all sort of like introduced her to the CACI machine and just, explained that we really wanted them to be a flagship for us and stuff like that. And she said, I can do better than that. She said, I want to introduce it to the whole of ESNL.
Wow.
And I think they had at the time about 125 clinics.
Yeah.
She said, I can give you a purchase order for 125 systems. And I'm like shaking, excited. Yeah. But it's on condition you don't supply our competitor. And their competitor at the time was Glenby Regis, or Regis, also salons within department stores. So I said, yeah, no problem. And literally, a couple of months in business and I've got a PO for, 125 systems. Sent that over to Dr. Wing's company. And actually what I could see quite quickly, just from the serial numbers alone, we were buying everything that they were making.
Yeah.
And we never got it in one hit. It was all sort of dribs and drabs. So whilst he was sort of this genius inventor, I could see they were a little bit of a mom and pop shop type.
Probably thinking, how are we going to produce this amount?
So then I got a call from, I don't know, Fran, Hayter really well. And at the time, she was running the Glenby Regis side of things. And she said, I've been hearing about this CACI system and I'd like to invite you in. And truth, I love Fran to bits, but I was a bit terrified of her then. And so we went in and we did a presentation and she said, I love it, I want it. I want it for the group. And I said, I'm really sorry, but I've already agreed with ESNL that we won't supply you. Yeah. And she virtually kicked me out of her office.
Fran's not used to people saying no.
Saying no. Well, then I got a call, probably, I don't know, a month or so later. Fran Hayter. Hi, Fran, how are you? I'm sending over a PO by fax for, it was something like 200 and something systems. And I said, I'd love to, Fran, but I can't. I've agreed with ESNL. We won't supply. She said, well, we've just bought ESNL, so you can. So literally within the first 6 months of business, we'd had orders for like 400 systems. Yeah. I mean, it was just incredible.
And at what point did you, because to start with, I would imagine you were still working in the law firm.
No.
Or did you pack in straight away?
When I started CACI, I packed in the law side of things.
So that was a big gamble.
Oh, big. Yeah, half my family wouldn't speak to me. How can you be giving it all that? It was a big change, big change. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder, like that first exhibition, that big top tent, I bet you were like thinking, oh my word.
Honestly, when we've got that first fax where it said it'd been cancelled, we thought, this is it, this is over. But yeah, so it grew very rapidly. We were getting more and more celebrities coming in for treatment. In fact, one of the celebrities that lived near me was a lady called Sue Nichols.
Yes.
Sue used to play, I don't watch it, but she's
still on Coronation
So she was
Street,
Audrey Roberts in Coronation Street, and she was a neighbour, and she came in for treatment with us and did a lovely feature. I think it was in the Mirror or the Sunday Mirror. And then she said, a friend of mine would like to have treatment, and she's an actress, but she hasn't acted for quite a while, and her name's Barbara Windsor. So I said, I remember Barbara Windsor, Carry On films. And anyway, so Barbara came in for treatment. And I think a week after she'd been into us, she got offered the role of Peggy Mitchell in EastEnders. Yeah. And she's like, you two are my good luck charms. This was myself and Eileen. And Barbara introduced us to at the time. It's horrible actually, because you think back and these people are no longer with us, but she introduced us to Dale Winton, who introduced us to Cilla Black, and so we were treating so many celebrities, and they were really good to us. Very happy to
because they were all quite happy as well to totally endorse it, because I can remember, and as a clinic owner, that was like huge, because obviously we'd gone from that lady. That lady with her before and after, who
Myra Hindley-esque. Yeah.
And I mean, that worked. But then at that point, there wasn't really any treatments out there that were getting endorsed by celebrities.
Or even getting that consumer press coverage.
Yeah, exactly.
That we were getting.
Yeah.
And,
So, I mean, in the Northeast, as I say, to start with, we were the first clinic to have it, and we were just inundated.
Yeah.
And I can remember putting my advert in the Concert Guardian, and from there, and that was the picture with the lady on. We just got inundated because people, like you say, I mean, there wasn't the social media or anything out there, so people were buying magazines, and it was a smaller, like, pot, wasn't it? That like everyone was looking at the same media kind of thing, but I mean, then
today the route to market can be quicker because of social. But it's
more scattered though,
and you need so many more touch points. To get the message across for people to buy in. Yeah, it was a lot simpler back then. But I remember like many times, like you treat the editor of a newspaper or magazine. When's it coming out? It's like 3 or 4 months before it comes out, and you're waiting for that issue to come out and stuff like that. Whereas now it's instant on social and
So obviously then. It was quite a few years where it was just the battery operated system, wasn't it? But as well, the other thing I can remember at that point, and I think this was probably getting more to when it was the first computer, official CACI, with the look of like now how it is. Or well, you've moved on again from there. But at that point as well, there was all of these like microcurrent machines coming on the market, and it was just flooded all of a sudden. And I can always remember like us saying to clients, CACI's the only one that works under 1 hertz. Not really quite understanding what that meant, but and clients were like, oh yeah, and but
must be good.
all of these systems suddenly flooded the market, but then one by one they just dwindled off again.
Let's be honest, it happens all the time in the beauty industry. Somebody will come to the market with a new technology, whether it be microneedling, and suddenly before you know it, there's umpteen microneedling devices. Some will stay the test of time, some will disappear, and you see it all the time. Normally the first to market normally is the one that stands the test time. Not always, but normally that's the one, and the rest sort of come along as me too. And we often say with regard to microcurrent, if a salon's got a CACI machine, they will go, I've got a CACI machine. They don't say, I've got a microcurrent machine.
Yeah.
But if a salon has a microcurrent machine, they won't talk about the brand. They go, we might say, it's like CACI or stuff like that. And that is the real difference of having a brand. That's what puts bums on seats. That's what drives people into the salons, is having that name that they've read about, heard about.
Everyone's heard it kind of thing. And I think as well, because then it got to the point where royalty was involved as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's a funny one. So I got contacted by a lady called Chrissy Fitzgerald, and Chrissy was sort of pretty known to be Princess Diana's therapist. She had a clinic in Beecham Place, just around the corner from Harrods. And she said, a certain person I treat would like to have CACI treatments. And I said, I think I know the certain person you're talking about. And so we arranged for them to have a CACI system. And by then we were working with a PR agency as well. Got fed up with the phone being put down on me. So we were working with a PR agency. I said, we're treating Princess Diana. And I said, look, it's the royal family. We can't really just go out to the press with that. I remember one night, Eileen and I were sitting watching a stupid TV show called Don't Forget Your Toothbrush.
I can remember that.
Mad show. But
didn't last long, that programme.
And what they would do at the end of the day, or the end of the show, would sort of review the morning papers. And it was Chris Evans, and he said, guess who's had a non-surgical facelift? And Eileen and I look at each other. And it was front page of the Sunday People, and it went on to pages 3 and 4 that Princess Diana was having CACI treatments. I was then, on the Monday when we went into work, we were contacted by every national newspaper, including the ones that put the phone down on me. Remember you phoned me, Dean? Oh yes, we want to do it now. And so every national newspaper ran the article about Princess Diana.
So at that just been leaked, or had Princess Diana proved that, or?
In truth, I don't really know the answer. And I was quoted in the article, but no one ever interviewed me. So I think either she went along with it, Chrissy's told the story, but years later, I actually had an event that I invited Princess Diana to, and she actually sent me on very nice headed paper that she couldn't attend, or press secretaries did. So there was never any sort of bad feeling. It was done with her okay. Yeah. But then we were also approached by international newspapers, and then we started getting approached by...
Well, she was loved worldwide, wouldn't she?
Yeah, but then we'd have people from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, India, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, all wanting to have a CACI system. So I went back to Dr. Wing and said, look, we're getting approached. And they said, well,
he's probably thinking, my goodness, because I bet he never ever thought it was going to take to what it did.
Well, it's funny, there's a biography on his life. As I said, it's like this genius guy. And there's a couple of pages in there that sort of said about us when we launched CACI. And it said and Princess Diana was on TV promoting its use, like as if she was on QVC or something. It always amused me. So we were granted world distribution rights after that. And I spent a year, all bar, I think, 3 weekends, just traveling the world, setting up distributors for CACI all over the world.
Wow.
So, CACI is now in over 100 countries.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, we've sold, I think, internationally about 10,000 systems, about 6,000 in the UK. So we've sold a lot of devices.
The UK is still the largest market then, or is America, or how?
No, so the UK is. With America, we have regulatory restrictions, which we're going through now. So we were very buoyant in the US market. Then they changed some of the regulations. So whilst we're in some of the top hotels in the world or in the US, UK is by far our strongest market. It's been a crazy journey, and sort of jumping forward, we actually bought out Dr. Wing's company and all the IP and set up manufacturing here. Because for a long time I was sort of saying, it gets great results, but can't we make it look a bit sort of sexier? It's a bit, this cream box, And there were machines coming on the market with touch screen, and it was very much a case of, if it's not broke, why fix it? You're getting good results. What does it matter what it looks like? And said, but we're working in the beauty industry and stuff like that. So long story short, we set up manufacturing actually originally in Peterborough, not far from here.
Oh wow!
And we started. We revamped the look of the CACI machine, and then we started adding new technologies, and gradually over the years, new innovations, and it's evolved. So the latest system is a real multi-technology system. It's not just about microcurrent anymore.
And have you found that's been accepted? Because the thing is that most people think of CACI as CACI, where now you have added all these different modalities and different things into the in particular the latest systems.
Yeah.
Has that confused anyone, or because it's still got the CACI name to it, hasn't it?
It is an education process, and we've introduced other machines that didn't have microcurrent. And in truth, I made the mistake of actually doing it under another brand name, which took away from that heritage that we'd built in the CACI name. So we let's stay with CACI. Let's educate people that our systems now pull not just on microcurrent technology for the muscle toning, but now we've got other technologies or other techniques for treating skin, for treating scar tissue, for treating wrinkles, for hydrating the skin, adding to the treatment functionality. Also, what it's enabled us to do, and also for the salons to do, is to bring on new revenue streams, perhaps appeal to different types of clients. So I think for a long time, CACI was seen as a treatment for the maturer client, and that really is no longer the case now.
No.
Because it's got so many different technologies, so many different applications. But it is, there is that or re-education of, say, it's not just microcurrent anymore. We do so much more.
Yeah.
But through all the new technologies, we've been able to generate a lot more new press articles. It always keeps it fresh. You know, you're no longer saying, oh, that's 30 years old. No, the latest system was launched last year. In fact, we've got another system launching this month.
Yeah.
So it keeps it fresh, it keeps it up to date. And we haven't just sort of rested on our laurels. We're always sort of looking to innovate and bring out new technology and new things. We very much like to sort of lead the way rather than go, oh, we're like that machine, or, you know, we like to be the innovators rather than the Me Too type brigade.
And what I also love as well, and I just wanted to get your take on this, because as an equipment, as in selling a piece of equipment, as in, you know, you're not constant, like someone's going to buy a system and they're not going to be buying another, well, possibly will. I mean, we've got 3 as the demand builds, but you've always had a team out on the road where you don't normally see that with equipment. Yes, with skincare brands, but not with equipment. And I've always wondered where your thinking is with that, because like sometimes, I mean, our CACI rep, that she'll come and, you know, she's not selling anything because we've already got the system.
I have to have a word with her.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. Not. Obviously, it keeps you fresh, and so you know what's new and what's coming out and everything. But it's not. It's a. I feel it's more like a relationship building thing.
Yeah. So what we've tried to do. Not always, because sometimes the technology is not available on the older machines, but sometimes when we're developing new handsets, for example, we'll try to make them, where it's possible, compatible on some of the older devices. So what that means as a CACI owner, you don't necessarily have to buy always a new machine, because the new tech will fit your old machine, giving you a new string to your bow, a new income stream. And I know a lot of equipment companies don't have people on the road. And I think we're in an industry that is about that tactile, about that touch, the smell. And, you know, if it's skincare, they want to smell what it likes, or feel what the treatment's like. And I know lots of companies do it via online or Zoom or Teams or whatever. I just think it's hard to get that across. I think also, in fairness to a lot of the equipment companies, they have these huge machines, whereas the CACI system is pretty portable. So, you know, you can put it, you know, in a car and take it into a salon to demonstrate it, which you can't do with the larger units, or you have to involve, you know, a whole delivery process and stuff like that. It's always worked for us doing it that way, that face-to-face, that support, and as you say, that relationship building, which is so important. You get a lot of equipment companies that sort of sell a machine, boom, that's it, then they're on to the next thing. We've never been like that. I mean, 34 years in business. And obviously the machines evolve and we bring out new tech and stuff like that. And we want to show the salons that have done well with our previous systems, well, now we've got something that does more, even better results. Have you thought about upgrading? Or perhaps it's a new attachment, but for your old machine. So, but
I think as well that connection just means that you've got that constant, like you're saying, when someone buys a piece of equipment, quite often then that is it. You've got that piece of equipment, and it's only if you need extra training or different things that you're back in contact. Whereas when you've got familiar faces and things around,
it's a nice way to do it. I mean, if I'm completely honest, we've got that many salons that we can't see them as regularly as perhaps some of the skincare brands. And sometimes, you know, I haven't seen my rep in 6 months, and we go, oh, what is it you particularly need? We're here to help you and stuff like that. And it's because, well, I just would like to see them and stuff like that. So, but we do have a strong marketing team. We do put out lots of marketing e-shots and a lot of informative stuff on, you know, either what's going on just in the general marketplace or what we've developed that's new and things like that. And we've got this thing at the moment that we run, which is #CACI community. So to try and, bring all the salons together.
Have you ever thought about stepping back? Because from day one, from where, those, obviously I wasn't at the big top shows, but like from the days of like Brighton and all of the smaller shows that like then came to like the larger professional beauty, and now obviously there's like you're now doing more of the medical aesthetic
medical shows,
shows. You're always there. You're always there, Dean. And like, and the thing is that like, and as well, all the years, you're always at the end of a phone.
Yeah.
You're always heavily involved, and you always have been that figurehead within the company. Is that intentional or?
I live and breathe what I do. I'm an absolute nightmare to live with because I live and breathe there. I love it. I still enjoy doing the shows. And I do have other brand owners saying, I can't believe you still do the shows thing. I enjoy them. I enjoy that buzz of the show and meeting people. I love sort of new product development and get excited when we start getting coverage on it. And I think if I ever lose that, that's probably when I'll stop doing it. But at the moment, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing the shows. We've got, as I say, a show next week.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a new show that we've not done before. We're launching a brand new machine, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there and meet everyone. My team may not be. My team probably will say, I wish he did retire or take a back seat.
So I'm a firm believer in manifesting and like the laws of attraction and that. So if you were to go back now to like the very beginning, was this all in, like, did you ever like envisage it being as it is? From the days of like the fax and you having those 3 machines and things. And did you ever, was it always in your head that like it was going to be such a big company and such a like a worldwide name? Or
in truth, yes.
Really? I love that.
And I would actually say I haven't achieved what I want to yet on a global scale. I've always been hugely ambitious. I'm competitive, and I've always had that drive and that ambition where I always knew it was going to be successful, and perhaps sometimes maybe blindly so, but I just knew that we had something that worked, that we could create that demand for the treatment. And I just think, I don't even think we've scraped the surface of the potential that lies ahead of us. And we've been sort of doing a lot of MPD and looking at sort of other, if we take a Venn diagram, like we've just launched machines for the mobile therapist market, more affordable, portable machines. We're launching a machine for the aesthetic medical market. We're working on a home device. We're working on a device for hair stimulation. So we're looking at these other market sectors that we're not, we've only just sort of scraped the surface at the moment. So the potential, I think, could be absolutely huge.
And all these ideas, do they come from you?
Yeah, there's lots that don't come to fruition, and sometimes like, what is he thought of now? And a lot of things will end up on the back burner. And I've got a really good team that will sort of give me honest feedback, or test it, or we'll tweak things slightly, or we'll look at a technology and go, how can we improve this? What's lacking? What can we do to make it better or more user friendly? So yeah, I sort of, as I say, I sort of live and breathe what I do. I consume a lot of information. I'm always reading and looking up things, and will suddenly come with a brainwave and so. But I'd say in the last few years, in particular, the MPD, I don't think we've ever done so much new product development as we've done in the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's been there's quite a few years where it was just like an upgrade of the original system,
tweak,
where bring in new features and things. And then this has been like a huge change with the new pieces of equipment that have come
some
out.
of it in truth was forced upon us. Post pandemic, there was a massive rush on certain microchips that we couldn't get anymore. So we had to redesign the machine using sort of like a Raspberry Pi basis. And that, whilst we were reinventing things, let's totally reinvent it. Let's give it a new look, a new feel. Let's make it the interface more user friendly.
Yeah.
So there has been a real transformation, I would say, sort of post lockdown. We've really just gone, hell to leather, sort of developing new bits and pieces.
I love though that you're sort of like thinking about the whole of the market, because when you're saying about, like solo operators,
Yeah.
some of them are doing like some great work and quite advanced work now.
Yeah.
So is that for a solo, is that and the mobile market, is that going back to just microcurrent, or is that with some of the modalities in it?
So we've got one device, which is a portable microcurrent device called the Micro Pro, where we also introduce conductive gloves. So you can deliver the treatment with conductive gloves. We also developed a sheet mask with a new silver ion conductive print technology. So the sheet mask is printed with an electrical circuit. It's then infused with electrolyte serum with marine collagen and stuff. So the whole mask is infused, and that's electrically conductive, and that's used with the Micro Pro. Then we recently developed what we refer to as our Prep and Glow oxygenating pods, and these deeply cleanse the skin as well as oxygenate the skin as well. And we've produced a separate handset for that. So all of those technologies exist on our big salon units, but now we've also introduced these little portable devices. So you can do a whole sort of skin cleansing and oxygenation, and then you can do your microcurrent treatment sort of on the go. And, that's actually been very popular with a lot of the celebrity makeup artists. When they're on set, they've been doing the treatment, and they love the hands-on sort of using the gloves on the face as well.
Yeah, that'd be perfect though, because you'll get that lift before the makeup. The hair restoration, that's obviously moving into something different, and that's, a huge market as well. So
huge, yeah.
Is that a standalone piece of equipment, or is that an attachment?
Okay, so without giving too much away, we're potentially looking at two ways of doing it.
Is that not out yet?
Yeah, it's not out. No, the hair is not out yet. So we have developed a piece of technology that is able to deliver serums into the skin without using a needle. So it's a handset that we refer to as our infusion atomizer. So it breaks down the lipid barrier in the skin, takes the serum, breaks it down into smaller molecules to deliver it into the skin. And at the moment, we use that with a polynucleotide serum that we've developed, and we're getting wonderful results. But then that set me on the path of, well, there's loads of other serums that we could introduce. And so we were looking at one for hair stimulation, some really exciting ingredients that we've been looking at. And then I thought, actually, do you know what? There's also potential for a standalone device as well.
Yeah.
So the thought process will be a serum to be used with our infusion atomizer that's used with our machines at present. And then we're looking at a separate device that you would use within the professional market for delivering the serum, microcurrent stimulation, probably low-level laser, some sort of mechanical stimulation of the scalp as well. And then a consumer home use option as well.
Because that could bring in a whole new market, really, couldn't it?
So that's what we're working on, and there's been sort of various versions of it. We want to get it right.
So it's still at the trial kind of.
Yeah, we're still developing. The serum's there.
Yeah.
The serum I could introduce tomorrow, but I just want to have all of our ducks in a row and launch it as a whole sort of protocol that people do within the clinic environment, as well as here's something you can take at home and a little device you use at home with that.
Do you think this will be 2026 or beyond there then?
This will be 2027, I would say, for this. Yeah. As I say, we've just launched, or will be launching at ACE exhibition, our new RejuvaMed CACI device.
Yeah.
And that combines our microcurrent for the muscle toning It combines FPL, which is our focus pulse light for skin rejuvenation. We've got radio frequency for skin tightening. We've got our infusion atomizer for the serum delivery, and then the oxygenating pods that I mentioned as well, all in this one device. So it's like a 5-step treatment process targeting muscle, skin.
Wow.
It's a fantastic treatment.
First, some of the systems that we had were equal bodied for lymphatic drainage treatments and different things. Now it seems to have gone more to the face.
Yeah.
Does that just been that because that's the target market that's always been there, do you think? Or
yeah, I think we're known as a facial company, and we have, as you say, developed techniques for treating the body. We've also had attachments for treating the body. We had our cellulite massager roller.
It was a good exercise just doing it.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of good body machines on the market, and I think we should stay in the lane that we're known for.
Yeah.
I mean, you touched on earlier, CACI think of Microcurrents, but they also think of CACI as a facial system as well.
Yeah, totally.
And over the years, I mean, I don't know if you remember, like many years ago, we also were distributors for the endomology, the LPG machine.
Oh, heavens, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And we did that because we recognised, let's go with a company that is known for body treatments.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and they do it really well. I mean, the latest LPG machines look great. But
yeah, I think you're right, though. I think you think CACI, you think
face. I think so. I'm not saying no, never.
Yeah.
But I think it would be different technology as well.
I love as well when you said that, like, you just feel like you're just skimming the surface still at the moment of what's possible.
Yeah, because we've got, like, no lie, we must get 100 inquiries a week from the US.
Are the US ahead of us, would you say, or behind us with technology?
So that's a tricky one because they're
in love. The laws are different, though, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think that's the restriction. So I think they've got some wonderful technology, but it can't be used by beauty therapists. Yeah. Whereas it can here. And so really any device that's going to put some sort of energy into the body is governed by the FDA there.
Yeah.
And in order to sell systems legally in the US, you have to have FDA it would be a 510K clearance, which is like other devices on the market. And that in itself is restrictive. So yeah, I think they've got lots of technology that is advanced.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's really open to the beauty therapists. It's more the medical aesthetic market. And some of their microcurrent machines, I mean, they look like, honestly, like somebody's just... Our original CACI machine looks super high tech compared to it's actually shocked me. So, like, some of the micro, and everybody says, like, your latest machine would absolutely fly in the US, and that's what we're working on. We're working on the 510K clearance right now.
Yeah.
And we've been approached by some large entities in the US that want to work with us.
So do you think that's the next plans then, to rather than to, like, go for even more modalities, is it then to, like, take it out to a wider audience, to more countries and different things? Or, because I'm going to say, I just know you're not going to stop. It's just going to be more and more.
So if we look at, as a company, where we can generate income streams, so one is tapping into markets that we perhaps haven't been up until now. So that's where we're looking at that mobile therapist, the hair market, the medical aesthetic market. And then the other income stream is, well, countries that have got the potential that we've not really tapped into. And for us, it's got to be the US. We get that many inquiries. So that's why
a lot, 100 a week.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
It?
Like, and when you come into America, well, we've been in America, we just can't sell there now. So there's a lot of potential, and certainly the US market is the market that we will be focusing most on.
Yeah.
Not least of all because, the language barriers and, there isn't, for the US, and They seem to like the Brits. Maybe not so much now, but historically they like the Brits. So I think there's huge potential there. So as I say, different markets as well as new countries as well.
Awesome! Wow. And will you be heading over to head that up over there then as well?
I think I'd have to bring on a team. I'm sure I'll put my face in there. They'll probably be sick of seeing me as well, but
I don't think so.
Yeah. So that's all of this new stuff, like you say, it's like you still do the shows. There's so much going on. There's so much to be excited about.
But that's what I love though, because you can just see, and like, and anyone listening and watching this, like your excitement and like the enthusiasm, and like, and you can see that, like, it's like, what can we do next? What can we do next? And I love that. I absolutely love that.
I'll qualify that though. It's important that you don't just keep chopping and changing and bringing stuff out. So it is, it's an educated process. It's not like, let's just bring out a new machine. We're not replacing what we've got. We're looking at tapping into areas that we perhaps, we're not working in those particular areas at the moment, rather than say, you just sold me that and now you've brought out something else. The new machines will complement what we've already got rather than replacing them.
Yeah. Wow. So the next 34 years.
Yeah.
So if someone, because obviously we have a lot of clinic owners and salon owners listening, but as well, there'll be a lot of people who are like thinking, I've never had a CACI and need to have a CACI. So the best way to get in touch, is that just to contact head office, which is in London still, isn't it?
So obviously there's the website. People can contact us through the website. They can phone head office. We've got business development consultants across the whole of the UK. We've also set up a training school in Scotland now, in Glasgow. That's really popular. Really all of the normal ways of contacting a company, and then we can send somebody out to do a no obligation demonstration.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
and obviously you're on socials as well. On active on Instagram and things. Dean, that's been absolutely amazing. I think anyone listening just think, wow, to start from where just 3 or 4 machines to what you've done now. And I mean, I'm even excited for what comes in the future. So I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. And as my first podcast, it's been chatting with a friend. Yeah.
I'll have to get you back for the next one. Thank you so much. And no doubt I'll see you again soon, very soon.
Thanks.